Secret societies have played a role in the world preceding the Middle Ages. They are typically started when a person or a group of people doesn't share the viewpoints of existing groups, whether that be political, religious, or philosophical. Because members of these groups are sworn to secrecy, not much is publicly known regarding their infrastructure, but there's plenty of speculation. These are 5 of those mysterious secret societies. Number 5. The Skull and Bones Society was founded in 1832 at Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut by William Huntington Russell and Alphonso Taft. Every spring, 15 new members are chosen to join the society. Juniors who are elected are notified during Tap Day and are chosen because they're considered prominent leaders with notable names. In order to officially become a bonesman, these students have to attend an initiation at the Skull and Bones headquarters, a Gothic-style building the society has dubbed the Tomb. Not much is said about these initiations, but the secrecy and elitism surrounding Skull and Bones has led to speculation of occult practices, black magic, and financial stability if they keep what happens within the club a secret. The number 322 appears below the society's skull and crossbones insignia. This number is said to relate to 322 BC, when Athens lost the Lymian War and adopted a plutocratic government, meaning only wealthy people were allowed to remain citizens. The Skull and Bones Society followed this idea and believed that the wealthy should have full control over the government. Throughout its history, Skull and Bones has played a role in many successful and powerful people's lives. Walter Camp, who shaped American football, was a member. Lyman Spitzer, who invented the Hubble Space Telescope, also took part in Skull and Bones. Frederick Wallace Smith went on to found FedEx, a multi-billion-dollar company, and many more members found unimaginable success after their initiation into Skull and Bones. Most notably, 3 generations of the Bush family would find themselves initiated at the Tomb. George Prescott Bush would become an investment banker and U.S. Senator. George H.W. Bush was the 11th director of the CIA and served as president from 1989 to 1993. George W. Bush was elected in 2001, leaving office in 2009. Looking into the members this secret society has bolstered, it's clear that most have been heavily involved in the government. This leads to future speculation that the significance of the number 322 on their insignia does in fact correlate with the idolization of the plutocratic government. Not much is known about what happens behind the walls of the tomb, as no one has ever broken their vow of silence. The truth may never be known, but it's telling that no one has ever come forward with inside knowledge about the Skull and Bones. Number 4. On September 11, 1826, a man named William Morgan was jailed in New York for petty crimes. An unimportant man who was often referred to as a drunk, Morgan frequently moved with his wife and 2 daughters before settling in New York later on. At the time, Freemasons were heavily involved in the social, economic, and political aspects of the United States. In fact, 13 of the 39 signatures on the Constitution were from Freemasons. This didn't sit well with Morgan or his friend David C. Miller, who was a publisher at a local newspaper. The men devised a plan for Morgan to infiltrate the Freemason Lodge and divulge their secrets. Morgan gained access to the lodge and was able to document rituals and misdeeds by the Freemasons. He reported his findings back to Miller, who planned on publishing a book about the secrets behind the Freemasons' success. In August of 1826, Miller published an article in his newspaper alluding to his future tell-all book. This put the Masons on edge, and they began to harass Morgan and Miller. Morgan was arrested for a petty debt, and Miller was faced with a group of Masons at his print shop. Anticipating a confrontation, Miller was prepared and had a posse of armed men with him and were able to scare them off. 2 days later, his print shop was set on fire, and although no serious damage was done, cotton balls soaked in turpentine were found throughout the building, and it was clear the fire was a warning. Morgan was released from jail and subsequently rearrested the same day on yet another petty theft crime, this time a $2.65 debt. Late into the evening, a group of Masons posted his bail. They drug him to a carriage where he was never seen again. The following day, on September 12th, a group of 70 armed Masons confronted Miller at a tavern and watched as a constable served him with an arrest warrant. His lawyer, along with his posse of men, made sure he arrived home safely after the questionable charges were dropped. The entire incident sparked outrage within the community. The public demanded the Masons be held responsible for Morgan's disappearance and their threats against Miller. With many of the Masons having direct political ties, this wasn't an easy feat. In the end, only 4 of the Masons were brought to trial and convicted of forcibly moving Morgan from one place to another against his will. They received lenient sentences and never divulged what they did with Morgan. From this, an anti-Masonic government party was formed. Many citizens refused to elect anyone with association to the Freemasons into positions of power, and this ideal spread to neighboring states. With no compromise, it didn't take long for the party to dismantle, but by 1840, nothing was left but a powerful legacy. For the Freemasons, the damage had already been done. Over the course of all the hysteria, Masons across the country denounced their membership, and hundreds of lodges were shut down. In New York alone, 2/3 of the Freemason lodges were closed. Although the Freemasons are still operating today, very little is known about what goes on within the lodge walls. If nothing nefarious is happening, then why would they go to such lengths to silence Miller and Morgan? Number 3. In 1954, a group of the world's most powerful people began meeting at the Bilderberg Hotel in a small Dutch town of Oosterbeek. This group, composed of US presidents, European prime ministers, and wealthy CEOs, meets every year to discuss the political and economic future of humanity. The meetings take place behind closed doors, and the press has never been allowed access. Statements have never been released by those who attended regarding their thoughts and conclusions. This alone makes the Bilderberg group suspicious. Dennis Healy, a founding member of Bilderberg, says that decisions are not made at their meetings, and therefore privacy is not an outlandish demand. He said that the meetings are nothing more than a place for discussion. Many people argue, however, that when the rich and powerful organize things on their own best interest, it isn't more than a stone's throw away from the plutocratic government idolized by the Skull and Bones Society. Anywhere from 120 to 150 people attend these meetings every year, with the goal being to bolster a consensus around free market Western capitalism and its interests around the globe. Dennis Healy has freely stated that the conspiracy theories surrounding the group's ties to the New World Order are exaggerated but not completely unfair. He says that instead of fighting against each other, a single community throughout the world would be a good thing. While the group's existence cannot be refuted, their purpose is widely debated. Nothing from the meetings is ever discussed with the general public, so it's impossible to know what their vision of a political and economically sound future looks like. Number 2. The Bohemian Grove Club dates back to 1872. In 1878, writers, artists, businessmen, and military leaders and politicians began to gather in a redwood grove in Sonoma County, California. This 2,700-acre campground is owned by the club and is only open to women and minors by invitation, and only during the daytime hours. When the campground, called Bohemian Grove, is not in use by the club, it's locked up and not accessible to the public. A sophisticated security system protects the Bohemian Grove year-round. Thermal and night vision cameras, motion sensors, and vibration sensing alarms are used to deter trespassers. Ex-military personnel control the grounds at all times, especially when members are on site. In mid-July each year, the Bohemian Grove hosts a camp for some of the world's most prominent men. Robed figures sacrifice an effigy on the first weekend of this camp in order to banish the worries of the members. This ceremony is called the Cremation of Care and was captured by a filmmaker, Alex Jones, when he snuck into the campground on July 15, 2000. He claimed the ceremony was part of a devil-worshipping ritual, and the footage was the highlight of his documentary, called Dark Secrets Inside Bohemian Grove. 3 others were able to sneak into the camp between 1980 and 2002, but not much has been said about the ongoings of the elite club. With Bohemian Grove being so secluded and heavily guarded, and requiring multiple invites as well as a $25,000 initiation fee, it begs the question, what exactly is going on in those woods? Number 1. There's no secret society larger than the Illuminati. Its mere existence is debated, and the conspiracy theories surrounding it are plentiful. The Illuminati did exist without question in the 18th century, however. The secret society was started by a German law professor named Adam in 1776. Adam intended to join the Freemasons, but it's speculated that he either lacked the funds for admission, or his beliefs didn't align with the established society. On May 1st, 1776, Adam held the first meeting of the Order of the Illuminati in a forest. His mission was to oppose religious influence on society and the abuse of power by the state by fostering a safe place for critique, debate, and free speech. He recruited 5 of his most talented law students, and his only requirement was that the members be under 30 years old, because the brain became more difficult to manipulate with age. A year later, Adam turned to the Freemasons to recruit more members, and by 1782, 600 people were part of his secret society. People from all over the world, including Europe, France, Italy, Poland, and Hungary, joined the Order of Illumination. 2 years later, the secret society had close to 3,000 members. Just as the Order of Illumination was beginning to thrive in 1784, a former member, known as Joseph, wrote a letter to the Grand Duchess of Bavaria. He expressed concern, revealing the secret activities of the organization, and in 1987, membership of the Order of Illumination was illegal and punishable by death. Adam not only lost the secret society he had created, but he lost his job as a law professor as well. He went on to teach philosophy, but talk about his secret society never stopped. Conspiracy theories surrounding the Illuminati are prevalent in society today. In 2016, a study was conducted that concluded that 23% of Americans believe in the Illuminati and their desire for the New World Order. It's believed that the Illuminati consists of mostly politicians and celebrities who formed a single government that rules over the entire world. MKUltra theories go hand in hand with this secret society and suggest that celebrities are being brainwashed by the government as a form of mind control. It's also been speculated that famous people have been killed and replaced by clones, who have reportedly been seen glitching while performing or out in public. These are just the surface of theories surrounding the Illuminati and their presence in society. It's impossible to prove whether or not the Illuminati exist in the way that it's perceived, but if it did exist and went to these extremes that theorists suggest to control the world, it most certainly wouldn't validate any claims to its existence. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to click that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to keep up to date with all of our future uploads. But I've been Ty Knotts, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.